What is TWS podcast, episode, whatever, who cares at this point?
Bar.
The rants of the vindicated.
It's my podcast and I do what I want to.
People, listen.
Word, is it still live?
It's not working for me, Rich. All right, we gonna keep going.
I know I changed my voice at work.
Bars on the radio.
What is TWS podcast?
Ready. I feel like the Neanderthal. Staring at my watch and I'm feeling so new school.
Suicide attempts, how many tries to take? They ain't ready. So much on my mind, I just can't recline. Blasting holes in the night till she bless sunshine. Breathe in, inhale vapors from bright stars to shine. Breathe out, we smoke, we trace the skyline. Yo, it is another episode of the What is TWS podcast. I am J. Flan, and if my probation officer is listening, weed smoke is not tracing the skyline. Nah. I'm keeping it lawful, sticking to the terms of my probation. But yeah, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode, who knows at this point, of the What is TWS podcast. This episode is going to be another Flan Man Dolo type episode. I've been going through, just some stuff personally for the last, couple days, and I just figured I would get back to what I actually enjoy doing, which is, making this podcast and talking to the people as like my own personal therapy session. So y'all bear with me on this one. It's just going to be me. I'm going to be pretty much ranting about random topics for the next 30, 45 minutes. If you're a fan of the show, you've been through this before. We've done this a couple times. But let's do the usual first, pay the bills. ttcharities.org. People, please check out the website. Donate what you can: time, money, clothes, food, books, whatever it is they need. I think we're still in their promotional period, the summer of giving. So if you give to them, there are promotions to give back to you. I think the one that I'm aware of is tickets to that the Smithsonian African American History Museum. So, if you donate a certain amount, you can get tickets to the museum, which are hard to get right now. So, if you can do anything to help TT Charities and the good work they do over there, please do. Even a repost or retweet helps. But ttcharities.org, please check it out. And then renascakeys.com. I was just at a game night at Arenas not too long ago. I don't think there were cakeys there, but cakeys are awesome. I've had quite a few cakeys in the last couple weeks, and they are awesome. If you don't know what they are the size and shape of a cookie, but the texture of a cake with icing and different flavors. Lemon, lime, strawberry, almond, coffee. There's another one. Can't think of it right now. But please check it out. Along with the cakeys, she does, all kinds of other baked goods, elaborately decorated cakes, wedding cakes, pies, macarons. Everything is great. But check it out, renascakeys.com. That's RINAS cakeys.com. And then last but not least, Celebrity Hair Corp. Get all of your natural hair extension needs taken care of. With free tax and no shipping. So, celebrityhaircorp.com. Let them make you look like the star that you are. All right. So I got that out of the way. Man. Yeah, I'm just trying to recover from a little bout of depression. I think I'm just been down, going through a little bit of a funk, and it seemed like the best thing to do. Just, talk it out. Just get on the mic. See what comes out. See if I can. I've really been enjoying, putting together this podcast and just the whole process. I think I listened to an NFL player once talk about what it takes, to reach that level, to reach the highest level of whatever it is that you do. And one of the things he said is falling in love with the process. And I think, this is one of those things where I'm enjoying it so much that I'm falling in love with the process. Like, I enjoy every aspect of it, from, coming up with ideas for the shows, to recording the shows, to posting the shows, to promoting the shows, the social media aspect. I mean, it's pulled me out of my shell in a lot of ways that I really didn't expect. And, I'm really enjoying it. So I think I am falling in love with the process, and looking forward to where this might take me. But I think, hand in hand with that, the more I fall in love with this new venture, the more, I guess, flaws and things I see in my current situation. I work in IT, and I've been doing that for about 10 years. And, I think there was a time where I loved it. Like, it was truly enjoyable for me. I think when Habs and I first started dating, she would routinely get upset with me because I'd be at work and I'd be so engulfed in a project that I didn't want to leave. And, we had plans, and she'd be waiting, and, I'd be trying to get something done. I feel like I was just like, one step away from finish, just give me 5 more minutes, just give me 10 more minutes, and that would go on forever, And having a job where you didn't want to leave like that felt like a good thing. But that was about 10 years ago, and since I've really lost my taste for it. And I think the more that I get involved in this, the more like the little things in IT that were annoyances but didn't stop me from enjoying the work are now like the biggest fucking thing. Like, what in the fuck? Like, what's wrong with these people? I don't have the patience for it. It's been an adjustment period for me for the last month or so. Just come to terms with where I am, where I want to go, and finding a way to get through the daily grind, so I can get back to the thing that I enjoy doing. So I'm working through it, people. I thought I'd share. It's one of the reasons why I started this podcast, so I have a place to be open and honest, to be able to talk to folks about how I feel about whatever, including how I feel about, what's going on with me. But yeah, oh well. Let's get into some stuff you might care about. Nah, this is more stuff you probably won't care about. But, all right, so other things is irking me, right? So the other day, my wife and my brother-in-law, we all went out to eat. We went out to a local spot around here, Phil's Ice House. They have great burgers, and they're connected to a ice cream shop, Amy's Ice Cream. That if you're in Austin, you know all about Amy's. It's, awesome, locally made ice cream. So it's usually a good thing. We going out to Phil's. We're gonna have a good burger, get some good ice cream. Go home. They got a playground in the back, so my daughter can get out and have fun. It should have been a happy family outing. But one family in particular just decided to ruin it for me, and I still can't right now figure out if I was just being overly sensitive that day, or if these people were being, complete and total assholes. You tell me. So we at the restaurant, and at some point I just started to hear this consistent, annoying squeaking sounds, just constant squeak, 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 just over and over. It just won't stop. Then I realized that there's like a 2 or 3 year old girl who has on shoes. Like they had the shoes where they light up every step. These shoes squeaked with every step, and they just let her run from one motherfucking end of the restaurant to the other end of the restaurant for like it felt like forever. I want to say it was like an hour. We might not even been in there an hour, but it was forever. It was just squeak, 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 squeak. I know it's got to be annoying them. So how do they not know it's annoying everybody else? And why would you take her out the house with those shoes? I don't even think, this is probably one of those cases where they didn't buy the shoes. It's probably somebody that doesn't have kids that bought the dumbass shoes. And then the little girl fell in love with them. She wants to wear them because they squeak, and then they're awesome. And so now the parents have to suffer with that. But just because you have to suffer with it doesn't mean that we have to suffer with it. Let her wear them all she wants to in the house, in the backyard, wherever. But if you taking it out in public, take the motherfucking shoes off. Or if she's gonna cry, if you won't let her out the house with the shoes on, well then take her and then put her in a high chair or something when you get to the restaurant, so she's not running around the restaurant making that freaking squeaking noise. Because it drove me insane, and it just added to the mood that I was in. Just Jesus Christ with this, like I never wanted to just like drop kick a little girl like that. I just wanted to, like whatever I can do to knock her unconscious so she stops moving, and these shoes don't squeak anymore. I wanted to slap the parents. Like I wanted to fight everybody over this little girl and these shoes. Like the little girl needs to know that that's not appropriate in public. The parents should have known it's not appropriate in public. Everybody needs to get smacked because of it. It was one of those days. It was such an annoyance that like the first thing I did was pull out my phone and open up a new note. Like I'm talking about this on the podcast. I'm talking about these fucking squeaky shoes. So all right, so two things, people. If you know a small child and you're in the store and you see some squeaky shoes and you're like, oh my God, she would probably love these. Don't do it. Like do us all a favor and like squeak them a couple times in the store to get it out the system, or do it like multiple times so that you can realize what you'd be unleashing on the populace if you were to buy these shoes for this little kid. I really don't think parents are doing it. I can't see a parent of a child not seeing the inherent danger in buying the damn shoes. It had to be somebody who don't have kids who couldn't put two and two together and just thought it was the cutest thing in the world. But if you shopping for a 2 or 3 year old child, things that make noise in general, not a good idea. Especially if you can't stop them from making noise. Like if you're gonna buy something that makes noise, it needs to have an off button. And it needs to have an off button that the child can't easily find, so that I can turn it off and prevent it from making noise, and she can't turn it back on. But you buy a little squeak toy, for a 2-year-old, shoes. Every motherfucking step. These people understand every step. And she just ran from what? Just squeak, 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 squeak. I can hear it coming. I can hear it going. I'm having flashbacks as we talking about it. I can't take it. All right, but speaking of food, today is Wednesday. I'm recording this podcast on Wednesday. I'm gonna release it on Thursday. And I'm just going through the list of things that are bothering me, stuff that's been irking me. So Wednesdays are normally a good day for me because Wednesdays are breakfast day at the job. Like, I come in on Wednesday. I get there normally earlier than everybody else. And after about a half an hour or so of me being there, the receptionist gets there, and she normally has breakfast. It'll be breakfast tacos, it'll be donuts, it'll be whatever it is. And today it was kolaches. And I don't know, for some reason today I was more than usual looking forward to this work breakfast, and it was kolaches. And I've been in Austin like 4 years, and I guess, do they have kolaches anywhere else? Like, do folks know what a kolache is? Because I didn't know what a kolache was until I moved here. But it just doesn't seem like something that could be specifically Austin or Texas. It seems like it has to have come from someplace else. But I don't know. I can only describe it like a bun with shit in it. Like, I don't know. Sometimes it's like they have the sweet ones with jams or whatever. But most of the time for breakfast, they're like bacon and egg or sausage or whatever. And people seem to love these freaking things, and I think they're fucking disgusting. And I've been here like, forever now, and I would have thought it'd be something I maybe would become accustomed to, but I still like hate kolaches. Like, I'm not a fan of kolaches. If anybody's like, hey, what should we get for breakfast? We'll get some kolaches. But like, man, fuck you. Like, what is wrong with you that you want these little meat buns? I don't know what they are. They're horrible. And it's like when you have an alternative, something as beautiful as a breakfast taco, which is the simplest, most wonderful like gift from heaven you could ever imagine. It's just a tortilla. It's a taco. You just put breakfast food in it, and it's awesome. And it's like if you can get that, that can't take the same amount of effort. It's like it's not possible for it to take the same amount of effort to fill a tortilla with some eggs and some bacon as it does to like bake the egg and bacon into a bun, bro. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Doesn't make sense to me. They're disgusting. I keep trying to like them, and the more I try, like, why wouldn't we get breakfast tacos every day, all the time? My wife will be leaving on Saturdays, to go to the gym. She'll be like, "You want me to bring back tacos?" Why are you asking me? Yes, bring back the tacos. Of course, you know which ones I want. I like the sirloin and egg and the bacon and egg. No cheese on mine, please. Please and thank you. I'm just saying, Kolache's breakfast tacos. I don't know. What are your breakfast food? Like, what do you eat for breakfast? What do they bring into the office that you enjoy? I don't mind the donuts, but most I like a savory breakfast. I think I want bacon and eggs or something along those lines. So breakfast tacos are my preference. Kolache's fucking suck. I don't know. I don't feel any better for saying it, but I said it. What else? This Mayweather Conor McGregor situation, like that's been irking me too. I don't know. Like one, I have no expectations for this fight. Like I don't believe this is gonna be anything worth watching. For some reason, I feel like if I don't watch it, I'm missing out somehow. So I got to. I'm not gonna buy the fight. At most, maybe I'll go to a bar or something and watch it. But I'm on probation, so I really can't do that. I don't know where I can go to watch the fight. Figure it out. But yeah, I feel like McGregor's doing the only thing he could possibly do. Like the only thing he could do to stand a chance. And that's, like try to get in Mayweather's head. I feel like everybody's done it. McGregor is probably doing it way better than anyone, has ever attempted to do it before in the past. Like, let me take that back. I think everybody's attempted to do it. I think McGregor may be the first to actually be somewhat successful. I think, the lengths that he's been going may just be getting to Mayweather. But that's like the only shot he has is to somehow distract him, get in his head. And even with that, like that's a small shot. Like you're basically hoping that, maybe he throws one too many punches in a combination because he's trying to knock you out, and you got a shot. Like you got a split second. You still even distracted. You still fighting one of the best pound for pound fighters of all time. So even if you get in his head and you get him to go for the knockout rather than the points, you still talking about like a small window where you could probably get in there and do something. And you'd have to do it like you're only gonna get 1 or 2 shots total, and they're gonna be like milliseconds. And if you're not ready to take advantage of them, it's gonna be over, and we're gonna see another Mayweather victory. Like I don't know. I want to see Mayweather get knocked out. I would celebrate that shit. I would dance the Irish jig if something bad would happen to Floyd Mayweather. Man, that would pull me out of my funk. Like I would be like, whoa, yay. I'll be on Sesame Street. Forgive me, I watch a lot of Sesame Street now. So, like when I think of Paradise now, it's sunny days chasing the clouds up. Like Sesame Street, gotta be Sesame Street. But yeah, I don't know. The whole boy like dance for me boy. For some reason it didn't bother me. Because I really don't think McGregor understands like the social impact of him saying boy. I mean, he was dancing, so like say dance for me. It only became something that people think is like racist because he said boy, and I don't think McGregor has this an understanding of what that means in this country. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's Conor McGregor Mayweather situation has definitely been one I've been watching, but I'm trying to decide whether I'm gonna watch the fight or not. It just dawned on me that I can't really go to a bar, so I'm gonna have to figure out something else. If anybody's showing the fight, in the Austin area, anybody that I know that listens to this podcast, which is like nobody. But if anybody wants to invite me someplace, that'd be dope. Moving on. OJ about to get out. Or maybe. I mean, his parole hearing was today, I think. So I was listening to Steve Harvey this morning on the way into work. And I think J. Anthony Brown did a whole like sketch on his, asking the people or whatever about whether or not OJ should get out of jail. And I don't know. I I'm sure they picked the ones that like sounded the dumbest, and that irks me. But the fuck ever, who cares? But half the people like, he should stay in jail, And then you had the other half that were like clear that all of this was a conspiracy. That I think somebody even said like, nah, he didn't take a gun. They planted the gun on him. Like it was just like straight like black people conspiracy theories, and I hate that. Like I hate that above anything. Like don't just defend anybody black because they black. Like don't come up with like police conspiracies and they planting shit on people just because it's a black man that did something. Like I don't know. I think he ran in there with that weapon and tried to get his shit back. That's what I think, and I think that proves he's a murderer. Like, cause that's not where a normal person goes in their thought process. Like somebody took something from me. All right, let's mob up. I'm going there, take this gun. We're going to get my shit back. Like that, like I think the only people that go right there are people that like do shit like that and potentially like murder people. If you took my stuff, I'm like, the first thought in my head is not, all right, we're going to get a gun. We're going to go get shit back. Like that's not, I don't know. I think the fact that after you beat a murder rap, that you still in the mindset of running up in places with guns proves that you just an impulsive, angry person that does dumb shit with weapons, a.k.a. a murderer. So, I don't know. I think he did it. Whether or not he should get out or not, I don't know. Maybe he should stay in there because I talk too much shit about OJ and I value my life. That's the only argument I have. I'm real personal with my shit. Like, I don't, it has to affect me. That's sad, but true. Sad, but true. So I say all this to say, I think the big thing that really has been irking me recently that I wanted to talk about the most on this episode of the podcast was I've been seeing a lot of posts, and I've even been involved in discussions on Facebook and other places, social media, about like this whole idea of people down in black men for doing stuff like, identifying it as gay. You go to brunch with your boys, that's gay. You do this, that's gay. You go to the movies with another dude, that's gay. You go to that, all this stuff. And then we get into these like debates over whether or not it's gay or whether or not these kind of posts or accusations are what are eating at the masculinity or the egos of black men, and if this is the stuff that's creating homophobia and blah blah blah, yada yada yada, and the whole premise just bothers me. The whole premise of whether or not these posts have some sort of impact on black men's masculinity just bothers me. And it bothers me for this reason. Like, I got picked on a lot as a kid. Like, a lot. I think I've discussed this in another episode, but I got picked on a lot. I was a small kid. I was a teacher's pet, smart. So I was not the most popular kid in school growing up. And I got picked on and bullied a lot. I had an older sibling that we didn't get along. So, coming home, I probably still got picked on a little bit, by my sister. I didn't come from an affectionate household. There wasn't a lot of, you're awesome and, you're great and blah, that's not the way. We didn't communicate at all, for the most part. I laugh a lot now that like one of the punishment for my sister and I when we would fight is my mother would force us to hug. And that was our punishment, you know. And like that was such a uncomfortable thing for us to do. Like it would take us like 5 minutes to hug because we like approach each other and do the like trying to do the slow like how little of my fingertip can I touch you with to constitute a hug. Like it was the dumbest shit ever, but like that's how unaffectionate you know, my household was. But so I'm saying this to say there wasn't a whole lot of like ego stroke. I don't come from a place where there's a lot of ego stroking and a lot of you know, you being told, you know, you're this or you're that, or you have, or you know, or people worrying about your self-esteem, so to speak. But my mom did, you know, teach me one thing in particular, especially with all the bullying and the being picked on in school. She wasn't the mom who was going to run up there and, you know, and yell at teachers about what, you know, what some kid said to me or what some kid did to me, or it wasn't, you know, the kid's fault, the kid's parents' fault. What my mother would say to me was that, especially if it was just something somebody said. Now, if some people got physical with me, then maybe it'd have been different. But if it's just people talking about me, my mom would say, she said this to me. She said, if somebody says something to you that you don't like, you only have two choices. Only two choices. One, you can change so that they can't say it anymore, or you can not care. And those are the only two choices, because you cannot dictate to people what they can and cannot say. You cannot tell people that they can't say something about you, that they can't say something that you don't like. That's not an option. Your options are change so that they can't say that thing anymore, and they'll probably find something new to pick on you for, or to not give a fuck. And that's when I think of masculinity in general, when I think of self-esteem in general, that's the concept that resonates with me. It doesn't, people are going to feel however they want to feel about whatever you do, whether it's going to brunch, whether it's going to a movie, whether, you know, whether it's holding hands, whether it's saying I love you to another dude. I don't care what it is that you do. If you call another guy just to shoot the shit, somebody might say that's gay. Like it doesn't matter what you do. Somebody's gonna have an opinion on it. If people have an opinion on what you do, and people expressing that opinion in a public forum are going to change you, or going to cause you some sort of distress, or cause you to not be able, you know, to be as confident, or not be able to be as secure in who you are as a person. If people saying something or having an opinion on your actions are going to shake who you are as a person, then you don't stand a chance. You don't stand a single, you know, you don't have a chance in this world. You're going to be just shaken and change. You're going to have to change with society's whims. Being a man, masculine, and to me, it extends beyond manhood. It's just being a person, you know, being a stand-up person is believing in what you believe and being who you are and knowing who you are and having enough faith in who you are as a person and who you and what you do, that regardless of what somebody has to say, it doesn't change. You know, who cares? I don't want to have discussions about whether or not somebody saying dudes going to brunch is gay, you know, whether or not that's good or bad for black masculinity. It shouldn't have an effect one way or the other, because we should be men enough to let somebody say some dumb shit and let it roll off us. I don't look for approval from anybody to operate the way I think is the right way to operate. I tell people all the time, like, getting married simplified my life, because at this point in my life, the only person I ever have to look to make sure that they're okay with my decisions is my wife. And if my wife is good, if I think what I did was right, and if my wife thinks what I did was right, then who cares what anybody else thinks? And I want to stress that, you know, across the board for all, we're reaching this point where we keep trying to control what people have to say about what somebody else does. Like, that's the issue. No, the issue is teach your children, teach people to be strong enough in who they are that it does not matter what anybody says, because you can't control that. You can't keep trying to control the external, so that your internal doesn't get shaken. You're giving too much power to the outside world. Be you. Decide who you are and live that way. And regardless of what anybody says, keep moving. Regardless of what I say, there are things I'm going to talk about on this show. I'm going to give my opinion, and I hope it don't shake anybody. I would hate to think that you soft enough to shake because of something I say. Who am I? I ain't nobody. But it's my opinion, so I should be able to give it. It shouldn't be on me to prevent you from being hurt. You need to be strong enough to not care what I have to say. And I think that's the major thing that's been bothering me for the last couple of weeks. Probably why I've been in the funk a little bit. I guess the outside world shook me. But sometimes you got to talk it through to get your G back a little bit. I feel better. I'm me. I'm always going to be me, And so this show is always going to be what this show is going to be. And I hope, if anything, I inspire people not to give a shit about what I say. If you learn anything from me, if you take anything I say to heart, is to not take anything I say to heart. Who are you? Figure that out. And if you know who you are, and you can be you, regardless of who anybody else is, then I think the world becomes a better place. But we gotta stop trying to figure out if people should say this, or if saying this is detrimental to that. Nah, let's teach our children how to be secure enough in themselves that what somebody else says doesn't bother them. Because people are going to always have something to say. Always. Whew. That's gay. Nah. I don't know. But yeah. That being said, there's a lot of darkness out here in the world, people. And instead of pointing fingers at the darkness and giving more light to the darkness, I got to figure out a closing thing. There's a lot of darkness out here. Don't point fingers at the darkness. Be the light. Thank y'all for listening. Peace.